Today's short tutorial is how to make a cute octopus hat that has jiggle. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go! We're going to start out with one of the preset models that Vroid has already created for us and add a new extras hair preset. Go ahead and delete the freestyle layer that Vroid has added automatically and instead add a procedural layer. These will be our octopus tentacles. The difference between a procedural layer and a freestyle layer is that a procedural layer you can edit all of the hair strands at the same time. So this makes it very quick and easy to make tentacles. So the first step is to make the shape of the hair look something like a tentacle, playing with the settings until we're satisfied. Then once we're happy with the shape, scroll down until you get to hair count. And you want to make sure that hair count is 8. And the reason for that is octopuses have 8 tentacles. Just above the hair count setting should be something called interval. If we increase the number on interval, it'll make the hair evenly spaced across the head. So play with that until all of the tentacles are spaced evenly around the crown of the head. At this point, I'm going to edit the shape of the tentacles a little bit more. Now this is preference, but I basically like a kind of curled look to the tentacles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the shape of the procedural hair at the same time. So I'm going to turn on mirror so I don't have to edit every single hair and basically make it look kind of like the brim of a hat. Vroid, stop fighting me. You will do what I want. Okay, there we go now. Those look tentacly enough for me. To really sell their tentacliness, though, you need to change the texture. So we're going to go to the hair textures and create a new texture which we will call octopus tentacles because I'm really unoriginal with names. Now in the octopus tentacles material, we're going to go into edit texture and edit the texture. Now, I'm not quite sure why, but when I think octopus, I think of like a purple, which is basically what I'm going to turn the entire texture here. After that, I'm going to choose like a light yellow, which is a complementary color and should contrast nicely, and basically use the brush to find the bottom of the hair and then fill in like a strip so the bottom of the hair is all yellow versus the top of the hair is purple. So that way we get a nice little contrasty effect. To add some shading very easily, I'm going to choose like a gray and make it darker at the top and at the tips. And then once I'm satisfied with the blend, I'm going to turn that layer to multiply, which will basically give me shading automatically. So on the bottom of the tentacles, we're going to add these white spots, which are basically just the suckers. You can make these more realistic if you like, but for this tutorial, they're just going to be circles. So we're going to add another procedural hair group for the body. And one thing we need to make sure we do is flip the procedural hair so that the jiggly parts are where we want them to be. Once we're finished with that, we're going to shape the body of the octopus in a round shape, and then we're going to manipulate the hair in such a way that it covers the octopus and makes it look like a complete sphere. So it's not like a bunch of hairs, it looks like it's just a sphere. So first we're going to work again with the hair interval and the hair number count, and then we're going to work with the hair width and shape, and then that, as we manipulate it, will slowly start to make the sphere look spherical or, you know, octopusy. So I'm going to duplicate the octopus tentacles material and basically make a new version of that where the texture is for the octopus body by removing the tentacle part. And there's our basic octopus, but we need a face to sell it. So for the first time in this project, we're going to add a normal freestyle hair group to this and name it octopus face, and basically shape it the same as the body with like a little bit of a space in between so it's not quite touching it. Now we're going to prepare for drawing a hair by turning on the mirror modifier and making sure that our hair is completely flat by messing with the settings in the drop down and the actual shape of the hair. Then go ahead and draw away. Once you've got your eye thingamabobs, you're going to go ahead and edit the texture. And I've decided to draw like an XD shape. So I'm going to draw one side of the XD and then I'm going to actually mirror it so that both eyes are on the same texture. Now when you exit out of the hair textures, you go and you select the eye that's not correct and you go to the top of your hair settings, and at the very top will be something called texture properties. You want to select offset and move that, and it should basically align the eye to where you want it to be. Okay, those look eye-ish to me. But what are eyes without a mouth? So I kind of messed up here, and we're just going to use it as a training experience. So I'm going to shape the hair after I've drawn it here and basically select the hair and move it around until I'm satisfied that it's in the correct spot for a mouth. So once we're done with that, we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the eyes, where we create a new texture and then draw the mouth on the hair we just made. Ta-da! So we're pretty much done with making the octopus, so we're going to exit out and save the octopus as a new item. Once we're out, we're going to edit hair bounce. Now the tentacles are easy because they are hair. So we just add a bone group for each individual tentacle one at a time with the default settings. Now the body is a little bit more complicated, but not too much. We're basically going to make the bone count 1 and then make the fixed point so it is directly in the center of the head. If the bottom of the bone on the top of the head is not thicker than the top, then your body was not flipped when you were making your octopus and you need to go back. To make the face move along with the octopus, we're going to select the face group and just add it to the same bone as the body. So that way they move together. Okay, that should be all we need to do for a basic octopus. So we're going to go into Photo Booth and see how our octopus moves. If you want your octopus more jiggly, you can go back to Edit Hair Bounce and mess with the gravity and stiffness of the bones to make them more jiggly. But that's preference. So I hope you enjoyed the short tutorial I made. Let me know if it was too fast or too slow. I'm trying to make it interesting and not too boring. And if you liked it, go ahead and like and subscribe so I can keep making these. Thank you.